Hello, and welcome to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified the minute I have up new tutorials. So here's what you need to make the confetti laminated bags. You'll need some either the thermal laminating pouches, which is what I'm going to be using. You'll need some glitter. They also have the self-sealing laminated pouches. I'm not sure how those work, but I know that this one does. And you can, my laminator, I had a laminator like this, has stopped working. So I use the mini press to do mine, but tonight I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press 9.9, which will be perfect for to do this quickly and easily. So I'm going to just take out one of my pouches. So now this is our laminating sheet, and I've heated my Cricut 9.9 9x9 to 220 degrees. Now I looked up the heat on the mini press, and when I just used the mini press on the first button, on the, you know, when you tap the button the first time, I used it on the lowest temperature. And so I looked that up, and it says that it's 220 to 255 or something like that. So I'm going to use it on 220, and then if it doesn't work, I'll turn the heat up a little bit more and try it again. So you can either use your confetti first, which I'm going to do, if I can get it open tonight. And you just sprinkle a little bit around your paper and your laminate pouch, and you want to get some on the back and the front, and that's literally your discretion as to how much or how little you want to use. Then you're going to take your image and you're going to put it on your sheet just like that. You want to make sure that it's centered. You can get away with it if it's not completely centered, but try to get it centered according to these edges, and that looks like I got it just about perfect. So now the next thing I need are my letters, and then I just used my scoring tool to move these where I wanted them, so I wouldn't accidentally keep bumping them and moving them out of the place where I wanted them. And remember, you need to leave enough space at the top for your scalloped edge. So I'm just going to try to set these up as best I can. And I can move this down some as well, because I have plenty edge at the bottom. So I'm going to move this down more on the page, about right there. Then I can bring these down some more. So I'm just going to adjust these so that they look nice and like they're a uniform amount of space apart. Almost got it. Okay, that looks pretty good, at least from my angle. So I'm looking at the bottom and the top to see if this is spaced pretty well. So this can actually come down a little bit. And now all you do is close it up. If you wanted to add some more confetti, you could. I could use a little bit over here. So I'm gonna open it back up. And I'm just gonna bring some of this down, because I didn't need that much. I just needed some showing there. I don't know what that piece is. I'm gonna take that out. That looks like a bad piece of, yeah, that's a bad piece of confetti. So we don't want that in there. And it doesn't want to come out. There we go. And maybe I will. It looks a little bare, so maybe I will sprinkle a little bit more confetti. I try to be so careful with it because it goes everywhere if you're not careful. So I'm just going to tap a few more pieces over here, just like that. I guess I could use a little bit down here as well. So that's just totally up to your discretion. I'm going to close that back up. Now I'm going to cover it with my Teflon pad. And I'm going to see where the edge of my, I don't want to burn up my phone, see where the edge of that sheet is, and I'm just going to press it on there and slowly slide it across just like it's going through a laminating machine. And I'm just applying light pressure. You can apply more pressure if you want. Then I'm going to check it to see if it's melting. It's not quite melted yet, so I'm going to put this up to temperature. I'm going to raise the temperature to 55. Let it get up to the temperature, and then I'll try it again. But it's starting to adhere because I can feel it. It's starting to melt a little bit, but I wanted to do it a little faster. So once it says it's ready, we'll start again. Actually, I'm going to start while it's on 30 because just in case it doesn't need to go all the way up to 55 after all. I'm just going to move it a little faster since the heat is a little hotter. And then I'll check it again while it's still getting up to 55. And so you can already see that starting to adhere. And it will be some spaces because the confetti is a little elevated. So I'm going to do it one more time just over the whole image, and then we'll be ready to move to the next step. I'm putting a little more pressure on it this time. If you keep it under the heat too long, it'll start to kind of bubble up. So you want to make sure that you're checking. But the best would, of course, be to have your laminator, but I had to improvise. And so that's pretty well adhered everywhere. So now I'm going to make sure that my edges aren't opening, that they're sealed. If all the edges are sealed, we're good to go. So I can go ahead and turn off my easy press and let that cool down a little bit. And as it cools down, it gets firm. When you first pull it out, it'll be really flimsy. So when you hear that, that lets you know that it's adhered. Now you'll need a stapler. And I used my tape gun because it's invisible. I'm sorry, I shook the camera. I'll let it stop. So I used and that's how it looks from the back. So I used my tape gun and I ran a line of tape all the way down the edge. I did 2 of them actually. And you can do more if you want. I'm checking to make sure that everything's covered. Making sure that the tape is going all the way to the end. And then what you're going to do, just like you're making a chip bag, you're going to hold this and you're going to line up where you put your glue and make sure that you're getting your edges lined up the same on the top and bottom. And then you just run your hand through to make sure that it's adhered. And I'm using the Scotch double-sided tape in my advanced glider. So that's how it'll look at this stage. Next, I kind of tried to flatten it out a little bit so that I could see where I needed my corners to be, because I want it to be evenly in the front. So once I saw that, I creased the top. I didn't crease down here. I creased the top, and then I took my stapler, making sure that it's lined up, and I put a staple near the top where I know my border will cover. Then I press down to get across to this side, put another staple here, and then third, press down that side, put a staple over there. For the bottom, you would now load in your candy. but I don't have any more candy to put in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and staple my bag up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing, and you want to make sure that you're lining it up so that your bag won't be like off to the side. You want to make sure that you're lining it up as close to the top as possible, and I see that I have that. So now I'm going to put a staple right here in the middle, and then I'm going to press to the side, put a staple here, and press to the other side, put a staple there. And I told you all I was having some Cricut issues tonight. I didn't get that centered like I wanted. Actually, I can fix it because this part is going to be covered. So I'm going to take these out and do it again. Make sure that I have it centered. And this is a forgiving project, which is nice to have, because all you have to do is cover these up with your scallops. So I'm able to pull these out and it won't even make a difference. So you see how easy it is to correct it if you make a mistake. So this time I'm going to be more careful. I think it slipped out of my hand when I was sliding it. Now that looks good. I think that's good this time. So I'm going to staple that. Oops, I let it slide again. There we go. And I want to make sure it's going to be where I can cover it up. Take it to this side. Yeah, I think I got it this time. Put a staple on this side. And then another. Yeah, I got it that time. I got it on the first try with the first one that I made yesterday. But tonight has been a Murphy's Law night. All right. So now we're ready to put on our edges. And for this edge, I once again used my tape roller, and I took my border pieces, making sure that I'm going to put the top at the top, slide that up a little bit, and I just ran, make sure you can see this, I just ran 2 strips of tape down the bottom edge or the flat edge, or you can do a third if you want. You just don't want to get above the scallops because this tape is clear, but still it'll show sticky. It'll look sticky, and you don't want that. I tell you, the Murphy's Law night continues, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, now we're ready to attach them to our bag. So I take the top one, or whichever, this is the bottom one, so I'll start with the bottom. And all you do is line it up with the bottom of your bag. Make sure that it's straight, and then just slide your fingers across to attach it. Same thing with the top. You're going to line it up. You can tap it on there so that it's not adhered, so you have a chance to position it. It needs to come over a little bit this way. And once you have it exactly where you want it, you just press it on. And so this will be the way your bag looks. You do the same thing on the back. Run your tape along the strip just like I did with this one, and you just line it up with the bottom scallop and the top. I don't have the pieces because my design space was not working correctly tonight, so this was the pieces I could cut out, and then that's how it looks when it's all finished. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.